We have some new reporting. We'll stand by about John McCain's plans for his funeral service, something that apparently had begun over the last year. He had been planning for his services, often discussing the plans with close friends who lived and who visited his Arizona ranch. Two people close to McCain say that he wanted 3 locations for services, including Arizona, the National Cathedral in Washington, and Annapolis. This is reporting from our Jeff Zeleny. Also, as we have previously reported, he did not want President Trump to be at his funeral, and that apparently is a wish that he held true to the very end. He's also asked that some of the eulogies at his funeral come from former presidents, from Barack Obama as well as George W. Bush. So now, again, the plans continue in the works for what happens next for John McCain, for his family. A close group of friends were planning to be with him next Wednesday, which would have been his 82nd birthday, but they were told on Wednesday that he wouldn't make it that long. So this did happen very quickly. We just got a statement from Meghan McCain, John McCain's daughter. Let me read it to you. She writes, "My father, United States Senator John Sidney McCain III, departed this life today. I was with my father at his end, as he was with me at my beginning. In the 33 years we shared together, he raised me, taught me, corrected me, comforted me, encouraged me, and supported me in all things. He loved me, and I loved him. He taught me how to live. His love and his care, ever present, always unfailing, took me from a girl to a woman, and he showed me what it is to be a man. All that I am is thanks to him. Now that he is gone, the task of my lifetime is to live up to his example, his expectations, and his love. My father's passing comes with sorrow and grief for me, for my mother, for my brothers, and for my sisters. He was a great fire who burned bright, and we lived in his light and warmth for so very long. We know that his flame lives on in each of us. The days and years to come will not be the same without my dad, but they will be good days, filled with life and love because of the example he lived for us. Your prayers for his soul and for our family are sincerely appreciated. My father is gone, and I miss him as only an adoring daughter can. But in this loss and in this sorrow, I take comfort in this. John McCain, hero of the Republic, and to his little girl, wakes today to something more glorious than anything on this earth. Today, the warrior enters his true and external life, an eternal life, greeted by those who have gone before him, rising to meet the author of all things." And then she writes this quote, "The dream is ended. This is the morning." Again, that statement from Meghan McCain, reaction to his death from his daughter. She is one of 7 children that McCain leaves behind from 2 different marriages. And just now, we also have a statement from the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who just tweeted this: "My deepest sympathies and respect go out to the family of Senator John McCain. Our hearts and prayers are with you." And Wolf, getting that statement from the president, that's notable because since it was announced that John McCain had terminated his medical treatment, the president had not commented on him at all.
Yeah, no, he had not commented on them all. And there was a long history, unfortunately, of animosity President Trump, including over this past year, was often repeatedly at various campaign rallies and elsewhere, going after John McCain, because John McCain in the end voted against the complete repeal of Obamacare, and the president would often talk about that. But going back to 2015, when John McCain, he certainly was a national hero, and everybody remembered his service in the U.S. military, in the U.S. Navy, and the 5.5 years he was a POW. But all of us remember that, and it's hard to even talk about this at this sad moment, that in 2015, when he was, a candidate, he was out in Iowa, and he said that John McCain was not a hero because he was a POW. POWs are not really heroes. It was just a sad, awful moment, and he never regretted it. The president never apologized, never reached out. It was just a very, very very disturbing moment in American history, and glad he's issued a statement finally. But, as the family has made it clear, the McCain family has made it clear, they really don't want President Trump to come to the funeral. They don't want him involved. There is this tension there, and it certainly is understandable.
And of course, John McCain, he ran to be president twice, did not succeed. But in 2008, the second time that he ran, the first time was in the 2000 race. In the 2008 race, he did receive his party's nomination, and now we're hearing from the man that he ran against in that race, now former President Barack Obama, who just issued a statement along with Michelle Obama. And they write this about the passing of Senator John McCain. They write, John McCain and I were members of different generations, came from completely different backgrounds, and competed at the highest level of politics. But we shared, for all our differences, a fidelity to something higher, the ideals for which generations of Americans and immigrants alike have fought, marched, and sacrificed. We saw our political battles even as a privilege, something noble, an opportunity to serve as stewards of those high ideals at home and to advance them around the world. We saw this country as a place where anything is possible, and citizenship as our patriotic obligation to ensure it forever remains that way. Few of us have been tested the way John once was, or required to show the kind of courage that he did. But all of us can aspire to the courage to put the greater good above our own. At John's best, he showed us what that means, and for that, we are all in his debt. Michelle and I send our most heartfelt condolences to Cindy and their family. Again, a statement from former President Barack Obama. He talks about his courage, and Wolf, you've also talked about his time serving as a POW in the Vietnam War. He was captured in October of 1967, was held prisoner until March of 1973. We know his captors tortured him. In fact, tortured him so badly that he couldn't raise his arms past a certain level even after he was saved and recovered from those injuries. He was permanently damaged. He was held in solitary confinement. And what I really find amazing, that I think will speak so much to his character, is that he had declined an offer of early release because he wanted other people who had been prisoner longer to be let go first.
Yeah, it was underscored the nature of this wonderful, wonderful man, that when he was a POW, since his father was a retired U.S. Admiral, well-known, and the North Vietnamese knew about that, they were ready to make a gesture and release him, even though there were other Americans who were held longer. And McCain himself said, that's not happening. I'll wait my turn. I'm not going to get special service. Because my father is a retired U.S. Navy admiral, and he stayed put. He stayed in Vietnam. He didn't have to. He could have left, but it just shows what kind of man he was, a true American hero.